everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into Sew with Zina today. I am Zina, the CEO and founder of Zina K Designs, and I'm going to be teaching you some basic sewing skills. This is our very first lesson, and I'm so excited because there's so much I'm going to show you. Things that you've always wondered about sewing, little things that are gonna help you to master some sewing skills. So today we're gonna be getting acquainted with our sewing machines. We're gonna be getting to know our sewing machines. That's the first step to sewing. You have to know your machine, what you're working with, so that you become comfortable with that machine and you won't have any trouble learning how to sew or doing little projects with that machine. So today we're going to be learning the parts of the machine and their uses. And then at the end of this lesson, I'm going to give you a small project to work on so that will prepare you for our next lesson. So stay tuned and hope you enjoy this class. I am so excited, to be honest, and I hope you are as well. I know you are, because anyone who's had any interest in sewing is always excited to learn a few things about sewing. So let's learn a little bit about our machine. So first of all, you have to know this. All machines are different, right? We all have, I know that you have a different brand than mine, but there are some basic parts of a machine that all machines have. Even if yours is placed differently from mine, you will have those parts on your sewing machine. Those are the parts that I want us to learn today. If you bought a new machine for this class, in the box you'll find a guide. There's the manual for your machine. That's going to tell you a lot about your sewing machine. If you have any questions, just ask me and I'll try to help you with that. So go into your box, your new box of your sewing, the box that your machine came in. You will find a manual. Get used to the parts of your machine through that, the uses and how to operate. You know, that's going to tell you a lot. So this class, with that and this first lesson that I'm teaching you today, you should be able to be familiar with your machine. You should be able to be comfortable to use your machine in our next class after you do this class and follow the instructions and guides in your machine's manual. So this is my sewing machine. It's called the Husqvarna Viking. Right there is the balance wheel that is used to lift the needle up and down manually. And next is that is our spool pin where you put your thread while sewing. It helps to hold your thread. And then we have another spool pin. I have two spool pins, and that right there, the little black pin right there, is my bobbin winder. I use it to wind my bobbin. That's the spool pin again, yeah. And that is my thread guide. That's where you guide your thread all the way to the needle. Most machines have numbers. The thread guides are numbered. That's my stitch regulator. And right there I have my back stitch, a reverse lever. Use it for reversing back and forth. You see that arrow right there? It helps you to guide your thread. When you're threading, when we're learning how to thread the machine, we'll know what that is for. And that is my presser foot. That's the presser foot lever, what you use to lift the presser foot up and down. The presser foot is used to hold the fabric down when you're sewing. That is my bobbin compartment right there. That's where the bottom thread is called the bobbin. We'll learn more about it as we go along. Yeah, it stays in there, and then you can wind it before putting it in. Yeah, we'll learn all that. Just know that's the bobbin and it's in its compartment. That's what the bobbin looks like. Yeah, that's a bobbin. Each machine has a different kind of bobbin, but it's all the all bobbins, and not forgetting the foot pedal down there. And yeah, those are the parts of my machine, and you have exactly the same as well. If you have an old machine from your grandma, your mom, and they don't have the manual for it, trust me, if you Google the brand, if you look at your machine, it does have a brand. You know, it will say somewhere it's either a Singer or a Brother or a Husqvarna, like what I have. There's so many Genome, there's so many brands. I don't know which one you have, but if you do not have a manual, if your machine was handed down or you got it from a thrift store, where you can find a lot of machines, good machines at the thrift store. Some are broken though, but if you fall under one of these categories, then what you should do is go to Google the brand, and it will show you everything you need to know about the machine. Just Google what you want to know about the machine, and just get all the information. You can either just download, or just study each time you want to know anything. Just Google about that brand if you don't have a manual. This project, we're going to be learning how to sew in straight lines. You don't need to thread your machine. We're going to learn that later. Just plug in your machine and start practicing with a piece of paper. Make sure your paper is lined up to one of those lines. That is called the throat plate right there, where your paper is sitting. Just line up the edge of your paper to one of the lines. Focus on the edge. Don't look at the needle. If you look at the needle, you're not going to be able to get a straight stitch. If you focus on the edge of the paper and that guideline, use any guideline you want. Just practice sewing straight like that. Yes. And if you can do a lot of these lines, keep practicing. The next one, we're going to learn how to make a turn. So those guidelines, they are going to help you to sew straight. Put your paper, place it on top of any of the guidelines. Your machine probably has different numbering than from mine. It doesn't matter which number you choose. Just make sure the edge of your paper is on line with a number and a line. That way you're going to end up with a straight stitch. Don't look at the needle. Your paper should look like this at the end of this project. I hope you enjoyed the lesson for today. This is going to prepare you for the next lesson. So keep practicing your stitching and mastering your machine. Once you get familiar with that, then we're good to go. This was fun. I love you all, and thank you for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed yet, go to Sew with Zina. Our YouTube channel is Sew with Zina. Subscribe so that you'll be alerted every time I upload a new tutorial. So stay tuned for more lessons, and thank you for tuning in. Bye bye.